This is a recording of this year's Virtual Residency Fair. We'd like to take the time to thank the programs that volunteered their time to present to this year's applicants. This year's PM&R Scholars Virtual Residency Fair is supported by PM&R Recap and Ultrasound Guidance. PM&R Recap is the leading resource for your physiatry board preparation, clinical preparation, audition rotations, and beyond. PM&R Recap offers 35 hours of review videos, hundreds of review questions, and oral board cases to help you become the best physiatrist that you can be. Head to pmnrrecap.com to learn more. Ultrasound Guidance is the innovative new online ultrasound learning platform that gives you instant access to expert instruction. With rapid scans and complete scans of every joint and peripheral nerve, Ultrasound Guidance is the perfect way to jumpstart your MSK ultrasound learning. Visit ultrasoundguidance.com to learn more.
Okay, hey y'all, I am the administrative chief for PM&R at UAB, the University of Birmingham, or the University of Alabama at Birmingham. And so we are a huge institution. There's over 1,000 residents at UAB. It's a massive hospital. There are a couple of different, this figure isn't main UAB only. This is also taking into account the other satellite hospitals. We have over 16,000 employees. It's one of the largest hospitals. It is the largest hospital in the state and one of the largest hospitals in the Southeast. We're pretty proud of that. These are just some facts and figures. As you can see, we do a lot. We deliver over 4,000 babies. UAB also has a lot of charity care. Alabama and in the South in general, there are a lot of impoverished people that we take care of. And so UAB has really done a great job of being good stewards of the resources that they get. And so they have charity care that's available to patients that don't have insurance. And then you also have Cooper Green, which is another free facility that is for patients in the Birmingham with city limits, or Jefferson County, really, that can go and receive care at Cooper Green. And so a lot of our patients are unfunded or underfunded, which is a very unique training center to be at, and it's also a public institution. So we see Medicare, Medicaid, and kind of all in between. And so I've really had the privilege of working with a lot of underrepresented patients. So we are also the top large employer in America as of Forbes 2021. We're really proud about that. We're one of the top largest public hospitals in the US, and we get a ton of NIH funding. And so actually the woman who created all of the prills, lisinopril and all that, she is here at Birmingham at UAB. Dr. Centaur, who created the Centaur criteria, he still rounds with the internal medicine services. I think he plays more golf than actually rounds, but he does give lectures and does have his own service here at UAB. We are in the top 10 largest hospitals. Whenever our new rehab hospital opens up, we will be top 5. That is coming in 2025. You'll see future slides about it. This is just a picture of downtown Birmingham. And so UAB also has an undergrad campus and a medical school and other different professional schools. This is a picture from the undergrad campus. And if you can see my mouse, Spain Rehab is right here. This right here is the Children's Hospital, the Alabama Children's Hospital, or Children's of Alabama. This is the main UAB campus. This is the Women and Children's Center. It's called the WIC. It's where they deliver babies. They have our cancer patients. It's where they also have the radiation oncology is also housed there. And then this is just downtown Birmingham. As you can see, we get beautiful weather. It may be a little hot, but it's normally pretty great. We are one of the older PM&R residencies. It was established in 1971. We take 4 residents per class. This year is the first year we came fully categorical. We're really excited about that. And our PGY1s are our guinea pigs, but they're really enjoying it. So far, we're actually all playing pickleball together on Friday, so I can just check in with them and just see how it's going as our test subjects. And so we have multiple different training sites. The majority of your rotations will be at UAB Main. This is the main hospital right here. Up in the top right-hand corner, that is UAB Highlands. It's like 6 blocks maybe from UAB Main. You can walk there. And that's where we do some of our procedure rotations. We do some of our EMG rotations. As a PGY1, that's where you do your ICU rotation. And that's where we also have our sports clinic. Our sports medicine physicians are moving out there. We just hired several new sports medicine fellowship trained physicians, and they're all going to be housed within the ortho department, which is at Highlands. The second one from the top, that is Alabama Children's of Alabama. I keep saying it wrong, sorry. We do our pediatric rotation there. We do 3 months of peds throughout our rotations. We also are at the VA. And so we're at the VA Annex building, and that's where we do our VA clinics. We're only an outpatient. We do not have an inpatient VA service. And then we also rotate at Andrews Sports Medicine, an orthopedic center. If you're interested in sports medicine, I know you've heard of them. They are kind of nationally and worldwide known for taking care of professional athletes. We do our sports medicine rotation with them. And so this is just kind of an example of our schedule with our new PGY1 schedule on there. I'm so excited about it. So you don't do the traditional medicine that the regular internal medicine residents do. You work specifically with the hospitalist service. So it's tailored more to the types of patients that you're going to see with PM&R. And then you do trauma, geriatrics, neurology, sports. You also do an ICU month. We don't take vented patients, but we take patients with trachs. And so we want you to be able to know how to handle those types of patients. And then we also, everyone will have a PM&R inpatient month in June, and you'll rotate through all the services. So that way you're ready to start your PGY2 year. We are more heavy on the inpatient services during your first year. I prefer it that way. You kind of get it out the way because those are typically your harder months. You take more call throughout your PGY2 year. You're on call every other weekend. And then as you go become a third year, you only do consults every 8 weekends. So that's really nice. And as a fourth year, you take even less call. And so they incorporated more elective months earlier on in our residency training. And so that way, if you're interested in doing a particular fellowship, you can get that training a little bit earlier. And so for my elective, I actually did an international rotation, and it was super awesome. I went to Malawi, Africa with my family. My husband is also a resident, and we took our child. And so it was super awesome, and I really loved it. So that's a possibility. If you can have the freedom to create your own elective if you want to, or you can pick from a set list that other people have done. We do 4 months of EMGs, and nobody has ever had any trouble getting their numbers. And we do 1 month of pain, but in your MSK rotations, you also work with one of our pain providers. So you get injections and you do interventional pain blocks during those rotations too. And then when you're at the VA, you do ultrasound guided injections there too. And we also do EMGs when we're at the VA. This is the Spain Rehab Center. We're getting a new one soon. It is one of the older buildings on campus right now. It was established in 1964. We have a fully locked unit. We have a spinal cord unit. We have 2 inpatient gyms, but it is being upgraded for this beautiful building right here. And so if y'all match with us, you'll have the opportunity to work in this building. It's coming in 2025. They have already started construction on it. And this was a really fun picture that they let us take as residents. We got to be there for the groundbreaking ceremony. You can see me right there. I am kind of short, which you can't tell from Zoom, but that's okay. We have a lot of research. We are a SEI and TBI model system. And so that means we have data all the way back from like the 1970s for SEI. We're one of the longest holders of those statuses. And so it's pretty cool. We have a lot of data. We get a lot of funding. We are in the top 20 for funding for departments nationwide, which is a good deal. We have a lot of really good researchers. This is Bria, our last year's chief. She was presenting at a conference. If you are interested in research, this is the place to be. We have a variety of clinics that you can work at. So we have amputee clinics, seating clinic, Botox. We get a ton of Botox procedures, actually. Another cool clinic that we have is we have a urology and sexual health clinic, which is, I think, something that falls to the wayside a lot in healthcare. And so just remembering that patients are sexually active and they want to be. And so it's a really cool clinic to kind of work into. And you are in these clinics during your outpatient months. These are just some pictures. These are some residents in the OMP lab. And this is the same guy. This is Brian. He's one of our OMP, our prosthetist. And so we spend some time there on different rotations, just hanging out with them and learning how they build different prosthetics. And so it's really neat. They're awesome guys. This is our resident education. We have our lectures at lunch. And so we do comprehensive didactics. We have a yearly schedule. So you go through the same material 3 times. We have an MSK ultrasound course and we do hands-on training as well. So you'll get the ultrasound course at lunch, and then that afternoon or 2 nights that week, you'll go and you'll actually do hands-on training for your ultrasound course. And so this is kind of an example of our lecture schedule. On Mondays, we have our case conferences where you'll do journal club. You'll present on a clinical case that you have. On Fridays, we typically have our grand rounds presentations. And then we have our resident lectures throughout the week at lunch, which is pretty nice. It's not kind of a block schedule. We're not falling asleep in the afternoon. So it's nice to have it kind of at lunch. And it's a good break throughout the day. It's protected time. So if you're on a rotation, like one of your inpatient rotations, your attendings will pick up your pager. We also have nurse practitioners that work on our team. And so if the attending is out, the nurse practitioner picks up your pager. And so this is kind of a breakdown of how we break up our lectures. We're changing this a little bit this year, but it remains pretty much the same throughout the year. And then the MSK ultrasound is kind of spread throughout the year. It's not all in one block. So that way we get exposure to it all year long. And so we've had people match into all types of fellowships. We've had them match into pediatrics, spinal cord injury, pain, sports and spine. There are a couple different fellowships here in the Birmingham area. There's 2 sports medicine. There's the UAB Sports Medicine Fellowship. It's a 2-year family medicine run program. And then there's the Andrews Sports Medicine Fellowship. There's also 2 pain fellowships. There's one through UAB, and then there's one that's a NAS accredited. It's in the Birmingham area, and we rotate with them on our pain rotation. We don't rotate with the UAB pain department because that's more of an anesthesia led, but we do have a resident. Our chief last year, Bria, matched into that program, and you can do elective rotations with them. When we do our pain blocks, that's with PM&R department. We have providers that perform those procedures, and then we also work with the NAS accredited fellowship. We have lots of opportunities for volunteer work. It was really cool in Birmingham. We got to house the World Games, and so we were able to work with the World Games. There is United Ability here. If you haven't heard of the Lakeshore Foundation, I really encourage you to look it up. It's a Paralympic training center for the rugby team. And we also provide sports coverage for the Bessemer High School football team that's new this year. And so we are their main providers. And so we're going to go to every team. They had a Paralympic climbing event here in Birmingham. That was pretty awesome. And we got to do the preliminary physicals for that. This is Nelson. He's my co-chief. And this is Dr. Powell. She's one of our attendings. She does outpatient cancer and just MSK. And then this is Bria. She's our last year's chief. And that's them with the flag football team. It's pretty cool. We're big on wellness. We do 2 wellness retreats a year. We have monthly happy hours. We have holiday parties. We have formal mentors. So you are assigned 2 different mentors. You're assigned a research mentor and a clinical mentor. And they just kind of guide you through your career. As the PGY2s, you have 2 dinners with the chief because we understand that those are kind of rough years. We have mindfulness didactics. There's never a time where I can't call Dr. Colorado on the phone. We also have a wellness fridge. And so that's just healthy snacks to keep you fueled. We like to go to lunch about every 6 weeks. We have a wellness dinner or a wellness lunch. And so where we don't have lecture and we'll go get lunch together. These are just some examples of us being well. This was for one of our co-residents' birthdays. These are some of our wellness events. For our retreat, we did yoga. And so that was really fun. We weren't very good at it, but it was fun to do. And then we went and played Topgolf one year. And these are our PGY3s. This is Dr. Bruner. He's our TBI attending, and he does our spasticity clinic and baclofen pump clinic. And so he plays volleyball competitively and he invites residents to play with him. And so we always have a good time going to play volleyball. And there's several therapists on the team as well. We're a big family here. We like to eat as well. Birmingham really is a hidden gem in the South. Its metro is about 1.1 million. And so it's not a huge city, but I feel like it has everything that you need. It's not too big. I'm from a really small town in Mississippi. And so it's the biggest city I've ever lived in, but I really love it. There's never a shortage of anything to do. It's a foodie town. We have several restaurants that have earned James Bearden Awards, and I still have not gone to all the restaurants in Birmingham. If you talk to us, we will talk about food all the time. We love to eat. And there's lots of things to do outdoors. If you're an outdoorsy person, Birmingham really is a place to be. It might be a little hot in the summertime, but the spring and the fall are quite nice. And so there's several state parks in the Birmingham area or within driving distance. If you're a rock climber, this is a good area for rock climbing. A couple of my co-residents are really into rock climbing. I am not, but they are. And so they really love it. This is a green space. This is Railroad Park. This is right downtown in Birmingham. And sometimes when I'm on call, I'll walk there and it's pretty nice. There are live music everywhere. We have the BJCC, we have Iron City, we have the Oak Mountain Amphitheater. I actually saw Jonas Brothers at the JBCC. It was pretty awesome, I'm not gonna lie. We have several sporting teams. We also have a G League basketball team, which is pretty cool. And there's actually a hockey team in Birmingham. So if you're into hockey, hey, they're not very good, but people say the games are really fun. And so there's a painting, there's a mural in Birmingham that says, "It's nice to have you in Birmingham." So it'd be nice to have you in Birmingham. This is our contact information. I can send you our emails personally. This is me on my international rotation. I was hiking a mountain. This is Nelson, my co-chief. He's our educational chief. And this is Savannah Tinsley, our coordinator. This UAB PM&R email is checked twice a day. And so if you have any questions for the residency, I'll also provide my email in the chat. If you want to reach out to me with any specific questions about our residency, just about match, anything in general, we're here. And then this is where you can follow us on social media. I guess Twitter has just been renamed. I'm not super up on the know, but that's what my husband just told me. So now if you have any questions, please let me know. I'll check the chat. Course load. All right, is there anybody that has any specific questions specifically that you want to ask? I'm glad it was entertaining. There are virtual options. I'm not sure if you could attend as a med student. I will have to ask my program coordinator and our leadership if that's okay. But if you do rotate here, we do have a lot of students. They are involved in didactics. Yeah, no problem. And feel free to email me. I'll type my email. It's salopes, Lopes at uabmc.edu. That is my email address. And then I'll give you my co-resident Nelson's email address. He is actually applying for a sports medicine fellowship. And so if you have any questions about, that, is there any specific research track? There is not a specific research track. We have to do research didactics. If you're interested in research, we have several different people that you can have contact with. Dr. Chin is SCI, and then we have a couple attendings that do TBI. It was actually really easy to set up my international rotation. I went through a organization and they set it up for me, but actually for UAB, I literally had to get them to sign 2 forms and that was it. So it was really cool. It was very easy to set up. Our house is in call, so we get a post-call day. We only cover the inpatient rehab unit, which right now it is 49 beds. I'm not sure about that. If we accept rotations outside of ESLO, that would be a question that you could email the UAB PM&R. Hold on. that email address, and Savannah would be able to let you know that. Any other questions for our 1 minute? Best food in Birmingham. Wow. Okay. Fancy food. There's a restaurant called Helen that is a family style. It serves Southern food. Their biscuits are the best biscuits I've ever had in my entire life. And they have a molasses butter that you put on the biscuits. It is legitimately the best food I've ever eaten. Yes. If you ever come to Birmingham, go to Helen and get the biscuits.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lopes. We really appreciate your time and a wonderful presentation it was.